Tonight, an arrest in a fatal shooting in Cambridge. New details about the person who's now facing criminal charges. The big backyard build.
It's a 1,600 square foot home.
That's got some neighbors making noise.
A home that probably is going to have a little bit of a reduced value because of having that guy have his place right next door.
Testing the limits of Kitchener's bylaws.
It is against the spirit. It's still absolutely legal, and it's what we agreed to
create more housing. A new conversation surrounding a long-standing encampment in Kitchener. The move that's now delaying the deadline to clear the site. Good evening. We are learning a little more tonight about an arrest that's been made in a fatal shooting in Cambridge. This all ties back to an incident in November where one person was killed and another was injured. CTV's Colton Weens joining us live now with new details on this story tonight. Colton, we should note this was a double shooting on Lena Crescent in Cambridge back in November, so let's get up to date on all this.
Well, Tony, the shooting happened on November 27th last year. One man was pronounced dead at the scene, and another was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Now, after a nearly year-long investigation, police arrested 37-year-old Charles Barnes Fountain yesterday. This was the scene in the Lena Crescent and Pamela Lane area of Cambridge the night of November 27th last year. Neighbors told police they heard what sounded like gunshots, and responding officers found a 40-year-old Cambridge man with gunshot wounds at a townhome in this complex. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, a 31-year-old man from Cambridge was also found outside the home with a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. No suspect was revealed at the time, and investigators could not determine if the shooting happened inside or outside the townhome. The following day, police officers canvassed the neighborhood, trying to speak with witnesses and to collect any security video. The Major Crimes, General Investigations, and Forensic Identification units continued investigating. And on Wednesday, nearly 11 months since the shooting, officers arrested 37-year-old Charles Barnes Fountain at a residence in Cambridge. Police believe the shooting was targeted and don't expect to make any additional arrests. Now, police say Barnes Fountain was held in custody for a show cause hearing yesterday. He faces charges of second-degree murder, attempted murder, and breach of probation. Tony.
All right, Colton Weens with new reporting on that shooting arrest. Colton, thank you. Ottawa tabled a bill today that cracks down on violent and repeat offenders. It comes after word that the man shot dead by police in Niagara Falls yesterday was allegedly out on bail for a crime committed 2 years ago against the same woman who was murdered this week. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
On Tuesday afternoon, shots rang out at this busy shopping plaza in Brampton, Ontario. A woman shot and killed, a child abducted. The man accused was awaiting trial for domestic violence charges involving the same woman, 29-year-old Savannah Kula. It's these types of repeat and violent crimes Ottawa is hoping to crack down on, with new measures announced today.
This is a package of sweeping reforms that includes more than 80 targeted measures that will make bail laws stricter and sentencing tougher.
The federal Liberal government has been accused of being soft on crime and for allowing a so-called revolving door justice system that's too lenient on violent offenders. The changes announced today are designed to make bail more difficult to get, creating a reverse onus that falls on the accused.
The accused must provide information that clearly demonstrates they do not pose a public safety risk.
The bill also introduces a new set of aggravating factors that will lead to stiffer penalties against violent and repeat offenders, as well as those who target first responders, organized retail theft, and crimes against public infrastructure. Victims' rights advocates, police unions, and some provinces have been demanding these types of changes amid a rise in violent and high-profile crimes. But not everyone is on side. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says there is not enough evidence that shows bail causes crime, and they worry innocent people will be held in custody as a result.
We do worry that as we erode this charter right more and more and more, we'll get into a situation where just because you are accused of something, before you have your day in court, you're held behind bars.
Asked about whether this bill will require more space in jails, the Justice Minister said provinces asked for these changes and should be developing the capacity to manage more people going through detention facilities. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Okay, time for a check on the weather as we head over to Alex Pinto now here in studio, here in this nice warm studio because it's become rather damp and chilly, feeling a bit more like November out there. I feel like the portion of sun to dark clouds was very low today.
Very low, but there was a moment where it was out and it was feeling pretty nice. Very short-lived, though, to your point.
Small dose.
Small dose of that vitamin D. But yes, it is feeling more like November, but I guess November really is right around the corner. We are getting closer and closer to the last week of October. And yes, it was another gray day, another wet day out there, and we're starting to see some more scattered shower activity still sticking with us as we get into the evening hours and even into the overnight hours as well to wrap up the work and school week. Temperature-wise, we continue to drop. Right now, it's just 6 degrees here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 6 in the city of London, 9 in Hamilton. Our expected daytime high for today, 10 degrees, but we got just to a high of 9. So the fact that we are going down, I doubt that that's going to be happening within the next hour or so. That said, as we look ahead to your weekend, we could be in for some mixing conditions. I'll break that all down a little bit later. Tony.
All right, Alex, thank you. Talk to you shortly. People living in a downtown Kitchener encampment will get to stay there for at least a few more months. The encampment near Victoria and Weber Streets was supposed to be cleared out by December 1st to make way for the construction of a regional transit hub. But now a Superior Court hearing over the matter has been adjourned to February. CTV's Alexandra Hollick explains.
Tents and temporary shelters stand tall at 100 Victoria Street in Kitchener, a site that was supposed to be vacated by the end of next month to make way for a major transit hub development project. But that's no longer the case.
Colleagues, that is carried.
Earlier this year, Waterloo Regional Council approved a site-specific bylaw to clear the encampment by December 1st and find alternate housing for those who live there. However, a local legal group sought a court injunction, putting the region's plans on pause until a Superior Court judge could provide more guidance. That hearing was initially set to take place between November 19th and 21st. Today, the region announced the court date is adjourned until February because the parties involved have agreed to mediation. Saying in a release, mediation will allow for engagement, clarification, and, we hope, expedited resolution of issues. The issues stem from the region's initial attempt to clear the encampment in 2022. Back then, a judge ruled residents could stay because the region didn't have adequate shelter spaces for its homeless population. Waterloo Region Community Legal Services, which has been representing some of the encampment residents, says it welcomes mediation. In a statement to CTV News, Executive Director Ashley Skidema says the group is, quote, hopeful this will be a good faith process that will lead to human rights and charter compliant solutions for those living unhoused in our community.
The region says as of last Friday, 4 of the original 40 residents still live here, along with 32 additional new residents. It also says the mediation process isn't expected to delay the transit hub project. At last check, Metrolinx had been planning to move in on the site this upcoming March. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well, now to a Kitchener neighborhood where some people feel a big backyard build that's going up is going to drive down the value of their homes. CTV's Jeff Pickle live now with more on this. We're talking about a dwelling unit, Jeff, in a backyard on Dune South Drive. That's really stirring up that conversation about the need for more housing versus the impact on neighbors.
Well, Tony, last year the city passed a bylaw allowing any residential property to be converted into 4 housing units, and that includes building an additional dwelling on the property known as a garden suite. And while that description may sound like a small, cute little granny flat, this is anything but.
Now we're working on having to deal with changing things to accommodate this being built next door. But
it's a beautiful big backyard that David Weber says is suddenly less inviting thanks to this large construction project next door.
It's a 1,600 square foot home. From what my understanding is, that's 800 on the main floor and 800 in the basement.
Permitted under the City of Kitchener's new gentle density housing bylaw, any residential property can be turned into 4 individual units.
His blueprint application, he calls this a garden suite. That's what it actually says on the application that I've seen.
Standing 4.5 meters tall, the new unit dwarfed the previous chain link fence that was in place.
Spent 10 grand for a fence on one side. I'm spending 10 grand for a fence on the other side. Put money out for a home that probably is going to have a little bit of a reduced value because of having that guy have his place right next door this way.
An unpleasant sight for Weber, but even worse for neighbors on the other side of the fence. Weber says he isn't concerned with having more neighbors. It's the invasion of privacy.
You've got bedrooms at the back on the left and the right side of the unit. So one, the window will overlook where we're sitting.
The City of Kitchener says the project meets its bylaw standards just barely.
The maximum height of the building is 4.5 meters, so they built it right to the max. Like they're meeting the zoning bylaw.
With the existing home on the property rented out to students, neighbors have complained about parking issue, though the city says other bylaw infractions are not taken into account when issuing a permit.
So the building code sets out clear requirements that the chief building official shall issue a building permit when A, B, and C are met. When the construction documents meet or exceed the building code requirements, fees are paid, and the zoning requirements are met, a building permit must be issued.
Ward 4 Councillor Christine Michaud says she understands the complaints.
For this particular one, yes, I'll be honest. Yes, I do. I think it is against the spirit. It's still absolutely legal, and it's what we agreed to.
But according to Michaud, this is the unfortunate friction that comes with increasing density.
The City of Kitchener made a municipal housing pledge to build an additional 35,000 homes by 2031, and a component of this is the additional dwelling units.
The city says it's re-examining the additional dwelling bylaw, including whether they should reduce the size that is permitted. CTV News reached out to the property owner but did not get a response. According to the city, under current bylaws, you are actually allowed to build a garage that is roughly the same height as an additional dwelling. So they say this type of construction was already allowed, but they are looking at reducing some of the aspects, some of those size aspects due to issues like this. Tony?
All right, we'll see where that conversation goes. Jeff, thank you for that. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us live. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney and Premier Doug Ford were at the Darlington nuclear facility today to announce a combined $3 billion for 4 small nuclear plants. But as CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris tells us, the Prime Minister doesn't seem ready to hit the gas on the Premier's plans for a tunnel under the 401.
Got new workers.
The federal and provincial governments are teaming up to build small modular reactors at Darlington, kicking in a combined $3 billion for the nuclear project, the first of its kind in the G7. This is the first of the Prime Minister's major projects in Ontario, part of a pledge to build as an antidote to the U.S. trade war.
When we bet big on the type of infrastructure we're talking about today, we realize the benefit as Ontarians, as Canadians, for generations.
Construction on the first reactor started back in May. Once all 4 are online in about 2030, they'll pump out electricity to power 1.2 million homes. The reactor is expected to generate 18,000 jobs.
We're also making sure that at least 80% of the project spending goes to Ontario companies, and we're using Ontario products at every opportunity.
A lift for steelworkers suffering under the weight of tariffs. Mark Carney predicts the effects will be long-lasting.
This is about also establishing leadership in the technology.
Canadian expertise that can be tapped into around the globe and at home.
We could put an SMR up into a mining project rather than building 1,200 kilometers of transmission lines.
The Premier invites the Prime Minister to collaborate on more nuclear projects. The provincial government is hopeful its key priority will be on the next list of special projects announced by the Prime Minister later this month. That's expediting extraction of critical minerals from Northern Ontario's Ring of Fire. What about the Premier's controversial pet project, a tunnel for cars in transit under Highway 401? In September, Doug Ford was sure Carney would get on board.
I just believe he will.
A surprised eyebrow raise from the Prime Minister when CTV News asked about Ford's confidence he'll say yes.
Well, look, we're having discussions, we're sequencing the discussions with the province of Ontario.
Not giving a yes or a no for the moment.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Calling out hate crimes in Waterloo Region. Coming up, CTV's Karis Map tells us about a new community-wide push to combat an ever-present problem.
I'm Heather Center, in a popular program that trains personal support workers, one of the more in-demand professions in healthcare, is celebrating a milestone, and the program has just announced plans to expand. That story is just ahead.
Well, you're still seeing a lot of green on our screen here. More wet weather on the way, and with that, some mixing conditions. I'll break it down in your full forecast coming up a little bit later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
There's no word just yet what caused a crash involving multiple vehicles that closed a major intersection in Waterloo earlier today. Police say one of the drivers involved in this crash in the University and Weber area fled the scene. The intersection was closed during the investigation, but has since been reopened. Regional police have not provided an update on that investigation. The prevalence of hate crimes in Waterloo Region has local leaders urging everyone to double down on making the community a welcoming place. CTV's Karis Map now on a campaign that's encouraging action being led by those with lived experience.
We all belong! A call for inclusion and acceptance.
It really puts people flat on their back. It interrupts their life. There's a lot of shock, hurt, fear that comes out of those experiences.
Fazia Bagg says she's one of many Waterloo Region residents with an all too familiar story of experiencing identity-based hate.
We've been hearing time and time again how incredibly difficult it is for many community members in Waterloo Region to feel safe and to feel well, and that they are experiencing hurt, harm, and hate in everyday ways in their lives.
And she's decided to be part of the solution by launching the region's We All Belong Here campaign.
To help people learn about and be invited into learning about what is it that hate does to people, what is the harm that's happening because of it, and why it's not okay.
A collaborative effort with the Combating Hate Action Table, made up of over 30 community leaders from various sectors.
We are a very active partner with the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan and have committed members as well to the Combating Hate Action Table, and fully in support of the community effort that's gone on here today.
Back in 2023, Waterloo Region topped the list of Ontario municipalities in reported hate-based crimes.
We did see a decrease from 2023 and again a decrease from 2024 in the first 2 quarters of this year.
But the region remains in the top 3 in the province, according to the latest data, which is why the campaign is urging community members to continue calling out hateful behavior.
We can't shy away from acknowledging what's happening and that we have to name it.
To get the word out, Grand River Transit dedicated a bus wrap to the cause.
The idea is that it gets seated in all of us. We carry in our hearts, and long after the signs and the paint peels away, that message stays and it resonates.
In hopes that one day, everyone will feel like they belong here. Karis Map, CTV News, Kitchener.
A program in Cambridge that helps train some of Ontario's most in-demand healthcare workers is marking a milestone. The program for personal support workers, or PSWs, is preparing to expand at a time when Ontario's aging population keeps growing. CTV's Heather Cenerin joining us live now with more details. Heather, this program is referred to as a living classroom, and it's based in Waterloo Region. So what exactly is that, a living classroom?
An instructor described it as bringing textbooks to life, Tony. So not only do students get hands-on experience in class, but it is located in the basement of a long-term care home. So students can then go upstairs and help take care of real residents.
Super. Okay, nice and dry.
Alvin Torres is a people person and wants to make a career as a personal support worker.
I'm a graduate of physiotherapy back home, and I want to go back to the field where I can help and support the elderly population, especially here.
Torres is one of the students at the St. Louis Living Classroom in Cambridge.
I'm very excited to gain more knowledge, more experience, hands-on experience.
Using anatomically correct mannequins to train for tasks like grooming, bathing, and dressing.
And then we go upstairs and we practice with the residents in long-term care. So it might mean that we're getting them up and out of bed in the morning.
Students also use each other to learn the proper way to get residents up and out of bed safely.
1, 2, 3, and down he goes.
The program started in 2020 in the basement of Fairview Mennonite Home.
So Fairview was the original founder of the Living Classroom 5 years ago. And then we just built a Living Classroom at Parkwood about a year or so ago. So they have another Living Classroom there.
The student placement coordinator is also an alumnus and graduated from the first ever Living Classroom.
It was just a really great way to learn and to interact with the residents and to really find my passion.
While celebrating the 5-year anniversary of the program, the team announced an expansion with evening classes coming soon.
It's going to run Monday through Thursday starting in January. So we're super excited to be able to bring more spaces to interested people in Cambridge.
Staff say the need for PSWs keeps increasing.
As people age, baby boomers are increasing the needs, whether it be in long-term care, home care. We have PSWs in hospitals, retirement homes, day programs, working in group homes. The need is phenomenal.
While the Living Classroom program started 5 years ago, St. Louis has been offering PSW programming since the year 2000, training over 3,000 PSWs. Tony.
All right, Heather, thank you for that. Heather Centerin on that milestone. Dental care is critical, but it can also be expensive. Public Health is encouraging anyone who may be struggling to cover the cost to explore their options.
Not having appropriate dental care can lead to a lot of diseases and conditions that affect all parts of your body and can be a significant reason that your quality of life is not what it could be. It is not something that is kind of an optional part of health. It really is core to health for people throughout our society. And in public health, we have a number of programs that we either offer or connect people with, recognizing how important dental care is. So we have received in the past funding from the province to offer basically programming towards young kids called Healthy Smiles Ontario, as well as more recently we've had the Ontario Seniors Dental Care Program being something we can offer, kind of targeting young people and old people in our community.
Leanne's got a more in-depth conversation with Dr. Matthew Tenenbaum on this topic over on our website. You can learn more over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. All right, a live look now from our photographer Dave Pettit, who is on King Street in downtown Kitchener tonight. Sidewalks, very obvious in terms of all of that rain we're seeing today. They are wet and puddle covered, and I think we're going to be seeing some more typical fall weather as we head into this next weekend of October. Alex is back in just a couple of moments to tell us about all the details. Also ahead, brightening up the reality of living with a hearing device. Ashley Bacon meets a 9-year-old entrepreneur who's turning a lived experience into some beautiful moments. But next, some big names ensnared in the roundup of a sports gambling scheme in the U.S. That's next. And a look at the rest of our week in weather, of course, heading into the weekend as well. And then I was just thinking about this. Halloween's next week.
Halloween is just over a week away.
So
1 week from tomorrow.
Really getting into the kind of the final chapter of October here. And boy, oh boy, is the weather ever playing along.
It sure is. And especially this week, we've had our fair share of wet weather. After not seeing, too much rain, I guess, over the summer months. It's all coming to join us end of October.
We think of the saying, keep your umbrella handy, as just a kind of a throwaway phrase. It was so on point this week.
It was. And it was tricky if you were trying to time maybe a walk with the dog or just want to take the kids to the park, because just when you tried to plan it, it appeared maybe when we least expected. So we try our best, but Mother Nature sometimes has a plan of her own, and we're noticing a little bit of wind out there too as we take a live look from downtown at Kitchener. That cloud cover still with us tonight. It is expected to stick with us getting into the overnight and into your Friday morning, especially. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a break from that rain, but even outside of our studios here this afternoon, and earlier this morning too. Downpour quite heavy at times. So depending where you're joining us from, you may have noticed the same thing. But getting into the evening hours, yes, that chance for some more wet weather. So we can see lots of green on the screen here. That is expected to stick with us right through to the evening. We could get a little bit of a break potentially, but when we are going to see that break, it's pretty much going to see what we're noticing now. So that cloud cover sticking with us, the temperature continuing to drop. Getting into your Friday, though, we could see a little bit of a relief, if you will, from the rain that we were seeing. Maybe even a little bit of sunshine we could experience. And Tony mentioned that a little bit earlier, too. At one point earlier today, that sun was out for a very brief moment, but you could really feel that nice warmth under it as well. So I want to stop it here, getting into the overnight and into your Saturday morning. The very light pink for some areas here. So just a little bit west of Kitchener-Waterloo, north of Mount Forest, potentially you could see some mixing conditions, including wet flurries. That is possible, so not 100%, but that's something we're keeping a closer eye on. And makes sense, though, as we're getting into the rest of the week. Overnight lows are going to be in the negative territory. So -3, -4 is what we are expecting to see. Once that does pass, though, getting into your Sunday, which we'll take a look at in just a moment, some nice sunshine will be in store. So taking a look at some temperatures currently across the province, just 1 degree right now in Pickle Lake, 5 in Moosonee, 2 degrees in Timmins. For us here in Waterloo region, sitting at about an 8 or so from earlier this afternoon. 10 degrees was our expected daytime high. We did not hit that. 9 is what we saw today. 6 right now in Mount Forest, 9 in Goderich this hour. And we're dropping even more than we saw from the last hour. So 6 right now here for us in Kitchener-Waterloo. So we are noticing a bit more of a chill. And if you do want to go out, yeah, maybe layering a couple sweaters or 2 under the rain jacket would be nice for the evening walk with the dog tonight. 2 degrees is our overnight low. Again, those showers sticking with us. And then tomorrow, more cloud cover expected. 60% chance of showers as we hit a daytime high, expected high of 9 degrees. In terms of daytime highs and lows, when we look at our almanac for this time of year, we're sitting pretty much seasonal, so where we should be for this time of year. 24.6, that was our record daytime high set back on this day in 2020, and it was just -6.7 on this day in 1969. And if you joined us in the last hour, we were chatting a bit about how maybe it's not the best night to enjoy that sunset because of that cloud cover, but that sun is going down 6:29 p.m. officially. Okay, so over the next several days, take a look at those overnight lows. So if you do have some planters out, you might want to bring them in the garage, inside potentially, or just cover them with a cotton bed sheet or so, because we could potentially see a little bit of a frost activity depending on where you are. So Sunday, though, 11 degrees and sunshine. That'll be nice after several days of wet weather we're experiencing. For Lambton, Kent, and Essex, 30% chance of showers as we look to your Friday. 12 degrees expected daytime high. Looks like by Sunday you could be in for a little bit of sunshine as well. And southern Georgian Bay, plenty of cloud cover expected for you tomorrow as we look ahead to your Friday. And then Saturday, just a 40% chance of showers with a high of 9 degrees. And here is tonight's Weather Watcher picture. This has been a week for stunning fall colors. Take a look at the photo sent to us by Paul Richards in Grey County. Paul says the colors were exploding on these trees along this country lane. And while beautiful now, he does add that he wouldn't want to be the one to rake them up in a couple of weeks when they're all going to be on the ground. So,
touche, Paul.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Thank you so much for sending this and being tonight's Weather Watcher. And yes, we've been getting some stunning fall foliage that we've been seeing with those colors really peaking.
Beautiful. Do you know what I used to do when I was a kid and I was told to go out and rake the lawn?
Jump in the leaves, but I feel like that's something else.
No, I don't know if Mom knows this, but I would wait until there was no one else home, and I would take the lawnmower and I would have the blower out on one side, and I would mow all of the leaves into one square of mulch and then get rid of them and say that I'd raked them.
Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony.
Tips and a confession. There is an easier way. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Okay, it's being called an historic takedown, allegedly involving mafia families and both former and current NBA players and a coach. U.S. authorities accusing more than 30 people of being involved in 2 separate schemes, including sports betting and rigged poker games. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
The stunning charges coming just days after a brand new NBA season tipped off. with these current and former players, including a Hall of Famer, among those accused, following investigations involving sports betting and rigged poker games linked to the mafia.
We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery.
U.S. authorities laying out two separate schemes. The first involving Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, who was arrested along with former NBA player Damon Jones. Investigators say they provided information about games to co-defendants who used it to place illegal bets.
The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses.
You got to keep fighting.
Authorities say one example took place when Rozier was playing for the Charlotte Hornets in 2023. They say he let others secretly know he planned to leave a game early with a supposed injury.
Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit.
For more than a year, authorities in New York have been looking into illegal gambling after Toronto Raptors player Jonte Porter was caught disclosing information to bettors. The NBA banned him for life. Authorities say the second indictment involves Jones and the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Chauncey Billups, who allegedly took part in illegal poker games rigged by the mafia using high-tech cheating devices, including X-ray tables that could read cards.
Victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived through rigged shuffling machines.
The NBA says Billups and Rozier are being put on immediate leave and that it'll continue to cooperate with authorities. Jonathan Valley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Spending plans and sacrifices. Coming up next, analysis of the Prime Minister's preview for next week's budget and what it's going to mean for Canadians during a trade war.
I'm Ashley Bacon. Fashion and function from a young entrepreneur. Livy's Hearing Aids, helping to accessorize hearing devices for all ages. That story just ahead.
We learned last night in Mark Carney's primetime speech that the Prime Minister wants to follow the U.S. model to recharge the economy by importing less, exporting more. But this, he says, will mean sacrifices for Canadians. CTV's Mike LeCouture tells us what to expect in November's budget.
Why don't I not scoop the budget?
Prime Minister Mark Carney came close to revealing parts of the November budget, but he did expand a little on Wednesday night's speech, where he told university students transforming the Canadian economy would take some time and some sacrifices.
There's certain demands or desires to expand in different areas, and we won't be able to move as quickly as we otherwise would.
What will our legacy be in the future?
The founder of Generation Squeeze says the sacrifice that should be made is a change to the old age security program.
Can we ask those of us who are financially secure to maybe take smaller subsidies in retirement so that the savings can be repurposed to eliminate seniors' poverty and to help our kids and grandchildren?
That's a red line for the Bloc Québécois, who has been asking for a boost to old age security. Despite hearing themes of fiscal restraint from Carney, the Conservative leader isn't buying it.
It's always the bait and switch. You know, he said he would spend less. He's spending 8% more. His deficit is 100% more than the one that the Liberal government had already put in place.
Carney did say dental care, health transfers, childcare, and the National Food Program won't be affected. The budget is being crafted as trade negotiations continue with the U.S., focused on the steel and aluminum industries.
The Americans are moving to an approach which is sector by sector as opposed to global.
Carney says if there isn't progress in those affected sectors, his government will ensure other countries don't have unfair access to our markets if we don't have access to theirs. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Recapping our top stories now with Leanne Evans in studio as we learn some new details tonight about that arrest connected to a shooting almost a year ago in Cambridge.
Yeah, it happened on Lena Crescent last November, Tony. One person was killed, another injured. Police arrested 37-year-old Charles Barnes Fountain yesterday. He faces charges of second-degree murder, attempted murder, and breach of probation. Police believe the shooting was targeted and don't expect to make any additional arrests. People living in a downtown Kitchener encampment will get to stay there for at least a few more months. The encampment near Victoria and Weber Streets was supposed to be cleared out by December 1st to make way for a regional transit hub. But now a Superior Court hearing over the matter has been adjourned till February because the parties involved have agreed to mediation.
Okay, and some news you can use over on our website tonight, Leanne. Game 1, World Series, tomorrow, 8 p.m. And so the Leafs and the Raptors, we know have done this. They've shifted some start times so that people can lock into the Jays game. Some OHL teams doing that as well now for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crazy. There are so many sports games on tomorrow night. If you're a fan of baseball, hockey, basketball, how are you going to keep up? I don't know. But of course, this is all in an effort to help fans so they won't have to choose between their hometown hockey teams and the Fall Classic. So the OHL will be starting 2 games an hour earlier on Friday. For more information, the details of what teams and games are shifting, go to our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. We've got it all right there for you.
There used to be a thing when they sold TVs called picture-in-picture. I don't know if you remember that. You could watch 2 channels at once. I feel like that's not enough to keep up with tomorrow night.
I think you need multiple monitors around tomorrow night.
You do, and different start times. So good to know that. Our digital team's got us covered. Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
A young entrepreneur from Mount Forest has created some fashionable earrings specifically for those who wear hearing aids. 9-year-old Olivia Barber has created Livy's Earring Aids with a goal of empowering people. CTV's Ashley Bacon joining us live now. Ash, I love this story, and I know you had a chance to go and meet with Olivia and her family. So where did this idea of earring aids come from?
It is a great story, Tony. Olivia met another young girl who was upset with having to wear hearing aids because she felt they were ugly. And as a hearing aid wearer herself, Olivia says that moment sparked the first creation. Using themes ranging from Halloween to Valentine's Day, 9-year-old Olivia custom makes her earrings. They clip on to hearing aids and sit outside of the ear. Early word of mouth generated sales and donations of beads and supplies, which allowed her to even make some jewelry for local seniors. As I mentioned, the idea came from an encounter with another young hearing aid wearer. Olivia says it was important to her to try and make the girl feel better about herself. And that is when Livy's Earring Aids came to life.
We just got more supplies for my mom, and then we got a pair, and then I'm like, well, if I have all this, I have like way more, then maybe I should just make maybe more, but what am I going to do with all of them? Maybe I should make a business.
It's great to see people happy. Like, I hate seeing people upset. It's the worst feeling, but seeing people happy is the best.
She is a super creative soul, and she cares so deeply for so many, and she just had this great idea and just kind of ran with it, and it's taken off.
The pairs go for $4 each, and orders can be placed directly through Livy's Earring Aids social media page. Olivia and her mom are also hoping to get a booth at a local market this upcoming holiday season. Tony.
All right, Livy's Earring Aids. We'll plug that one more time. What a great story. Thanks,
Great
Ash.
indeed.
All right, well, the Dodgers have arrived. Coming up, we'll hear from the Jays and their fans gearing up to take on that team in tomorrow's first World Series game in Toronto in more than 30 years. Final preparations are underway for the first World Series game in Toronto in more than 3 decades. The Toronto Blue Jays held their media day today. The Los Angeles Dodgers arrived in town last night, and fans are all set for the Fall Classic, which begins in 25 hours. CTV's Allison Hurst with a preview.
Preparations are in full swing as the Blue Jays get ready to host the Dodgers for Game 1 of the World Series.
Everybody says it's a dream come true, which it is.
Coming off a big Game 7 win, a world of media attention has descended on Toronto, and players are trying to keep calm and have fun for the Fall Classic.
I played some of my best baseball in my backyard as a kid, so I try to bring that with me out there, and hopefully that can be a little contagious, and the boys can just relax and enjoy it, because it's a special moment that it may never happen again.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. says he was in touch with his mom earlier today.
She say she proud of me, and
no matter what will happen, she always going to be proud of me.
Fans are also proud the boys of summer lasted into the fall and are feeling good about their chances.
We're on a run, and we got them, no problem.
My gut doesn't lie. It's saying Jays in 6.
We're an underdog, but I think the boys can come through.
Tomorrow's starting pitcher, rookie Trey Yesavage, knows they're playing for a huge fan base.
We represent this entire country, and we're this country's team. So we want to go out there and do everything we can to make this country proud of us.
For manager John Schneider, this is a career in the making.
I'm just thankful and humbled that I'm the one doing it, leading them into the World Series.
The LA Dodgers arrived in Toronto last night, bringing with them their star-studded lineup, drawing huge international attention. Starting pitcher and heavy hitter Shohei Ohtani, who was rumored to come to Toronto for the 2024 season.
He was a once-in-a-lifetime guy on your roster, but here we are, and I'm going to have to face him at some point.
Fans lined up early and all day, hoping to get a piece of the merchandise.
One of those nice World Series hats and maybe a T-shirt.
I was able to get some stuff for the older ones, but not for the baby. They have stuff for babies, but not World Series branded stuff.
Excitement and anticipation mounting ahead of Game 1.
It sure is. All right, over to Omar now for a preview of CTV National News.
Tonight, an exclusive look ahead of a long-awaited auction.
These are examples of Hudson Bay calendar works commissioned.
The fascinating Hudson's Bay artifacts set to go up for sale, and how much they could cost. Later on CTV National News.
I want to keep that umbrella close tonight and possibly tomorrow morning. A closer look at wake-up weather coming up after the break. Here is your Thursday night lineup at 7 o'clock. Stick around for E-Talk before Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Then at 8, it's Hell's Kitchen before 911 Nashville at 9. And then at 10, Grey's Anatomy.
A Day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
All right, let's check in with Leanne one more time and find out what our team is working on for later tonight. Leanne.
Well, tonight, Ashley will bring us more on Livy's hearing aids. We got a great preview there just a little while ago, but she will tell us more about how the business came to life and the goals Olivia has for it in the future. That's tonight at 11:30. Tony.
Looking forward to that. Leanne, thank you so much. Yeah, Livy was such an impressive little entrepreneur. I was just telling Ashley, I love this story. Can't wait to see the extended version tonight.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
And as far as our weather goes, we're in a bit of an extended period of, well, real fall conditions now.
Yeah, real fall conditions. A wet day it was today. Evening, overnight, chance for some more wet weather. And tomorrow morning, yeah, as we look at your wake-up weather, more rain potentially in the forecast. We're going to start the day, though. Some partly cloudy conditions expected by 8 o'clock or so. That's when we could see about a 40% chance. Just sitting at 3 degrees. So if you do have to head out, take the kids to the bus stop, take the dog for a walk, do some chores, well, you might want to maybe just layer up a little bit. By 10, we should be hopefully seeing a little bit of more of that sunshine peek through and getting up to about 6. But yes, more wet weather potentially on our way. But like we saw for the weekend forecast, hopefully Sunday we get to enjoy some sun.
It is truly sweater weather vibes.
Sweater weather. We can say that now.
Yeah, we can say that. We are in the season. Well, finally for us tonight, a hit musical has made a rather timely tweak to one of its biggest songs.
Today, performers in the upcoming Toronto production of We Will Rock You took the time to show the Blue Jays pride during rehearsals. CTV's Jessica Smith took a look at that.
I've had my share of sin kicked in my face, but I've come
through. The cast of We Will Rock You, the musical, took some time out of rehearsals to put their own spin on a Queen classic in honor of the Blue Jays.
We have been working on the song, Galileo and I, and then we got all the cast yesterday, so we learned the song yesterday. Thankfully, we all know this song. And then, yeah, we just were like, this is the best way to support and show our love.
In celebration of the Jays' epic Game 7 win to clinch the American League East and advance to the World Series, the cast of the upcoming Rivers production remixed a cover of We Are the Champions.
singing We Are the Champions with what's going on in Toronto right now is just like a perfect fit. Even like other Queen songs like I Want It All or We Will Rock You, like there are anthems that are perfect for what's going on during the World Series.
A musical ode to Freddie Mercury and Queen to help rally fans behind Canada's team.
And if anything, they're the underdog, which I think is totally represented by Freddie Mercury and his music and his magnetism and his reach. So I think you're drawing an apt comparison there.
The new production features an all-Canadian cast beaming with national pride.
The Jays are kind of more than Canada's team at this point because I'm not sure anyone is in the Dodgers camp anymore, which might mean that the Jays are the world's team.
Go Jays, go! The cast is hoping to celebrate a World Series win and the opening of their show We Will Rock You, the musical, here at the CAA Edinburgh Theatre that runs from November 28th through to January 4th of 2026. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Jess, thank you, and some incredible voices there.
We were just commenting on that, and also commenting how I don't have any Jays gear.
Well, you need
need
some
that.
swag.
I need some swag.
What I was also noticing as a music buff was how many Queen songs fit the moment right now. Of course, We Are the Champions, and then there's We Will Rock You, but they've also been using I Want It All as the one of the catch lines, and they had it on the Jays towels and during the breaks, during the throws to break. So we could hopefully have a reason to be celebrating all those Queen songs.
Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed.
I'm staying an optimist. Even if a dreamer, I'm staying an optimist.
We got this.
We got this. That's our time. Krista Simpson's here at 11:30. See you tomorrow.
Take care.